Here's a lesson. When a family comes and low holes you, stands right in the middle of the lane the fish have been using, you don't need to say anything or do anything. You can keep fishing. And then, when you realize they're kids like throwing rocks, just being a kid, just move on. Move to the next spot. It's not even worth your effort. You're just gonna get annoyed, and usually rightfully so. But yeah, just move on. And then come down and low hole them. No, don't do that. Believe me, I wanted to. I wanted to go stand right in the middle of them. What's that say about me? Doesn't say anything about me that I want to say about myself. So, I picked a different spot. And different spot is sometimes what you need. Oh, we found their travel lane. Seen 2 pods come through here. So now I think it's just a game of patience. Or I missed the only pod coming through. Also, very possible. But we're gonna give it a couple casts through here, for sure. Love being backlit by the sun when I'm fishing. Ugh. Fantastic. Probably do this for another 10 or 15 minutes and move on in life, but I've always said it, don't leave fish to find fish. And I've seen a pair and a pod come through, and then a single. So here we are. See if we can't find one of these. Pretty much guarantee that if there was any fish within 1,000 feet of me, I just spooked every single one of them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I just made more commotion than anything has on this river in quite a while. You can see there is negative CFS here. This is like 1, -1. Maybe there's a fish sitting in here, so we're out walking anyway, might as well try it. Some days you just never know where they might be. They could just be swimming in behind me. So we're still floating the little chenille worm. Not very confident in him. That's okay. I don't need to be confident in him. I need the fish to want to grab it. So there's a rock out there towards the end of my line that kind of swinging in front of. That's pretty much the play right here. Just give the rock a chance to see if somebody's home. Doesn't really look like it. This water is all kind of sand and dirt, rocks. Not super ideal. Well, I might die today. All these geese are right where I want to fish. That's, I'm gonna live, right? Am I gonna get chased by a flock of geese? That'd be pretty cool. Nope, doesn't look like that's happening. Unfortunate. And this does not feel very productive, which is more or less how steelhead fishing often feels. I was just talking to another guy down by where I was, and he said he's gotten a couple bites, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll listen to that. Really looked like he had a little rooster tail tied on, so yeah. Make your own fishing reports, guys. Make your own fishing reports. I kind of want to move down into that corner and throw it, so start working our way down there. And we're moving. So these rocks, whew, a little tiny bit slippery. Little tiny bit. Fun story, the first river I ever fell in and the first spot I ever fell in is pretty much right at the end of my rod tip. Slipped on some rocks in the spring there. It's pretty cool. River was much higher than it is right now, and I went for a little swim around the bend. It was fun. That's when I learned wading belts are a good thing if you're wearing waders. I mean, right now I am. I thought it was going to be a much colder day. I was wrong. I want to cast in a little closer here. Still fishing a Scandi line and a intermediate poly leader. I think this one's a airflow. And I think, no, I was thinking I might get different scanty head for this, but realistically I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on a 7-weight Spey rod. That sounds like better use of my funds than just collecting lines that are going to collect dust. And I do have a Skagit head with me as well, but looking at this water, I don't think the camera picks it up, but maybe like how deep it is right here. That's pretty much how deep it is all the way across. So yeah, no need for Skagit on this. Well, this day might be just about over. I've seen a ton of fish and haven't hooked any. Saw spawned out salmon, pods of steelhead, and so far I can't get any of them to commit. That's what it is, you know. It's just part of the game. So right now, what do I got going on? A little tiny egg pattern on a size 10 jig hook, maybe. And why do you ask? I'm seeing spawned out salmon and little tiny baby fish everywhere in this river. I'm thinking maybe that'll work. If anything, a dead drifted egg has as much of a chance as anything else. But I also think I'm a little bit too late, and I think the fish already stopped moving, which is sort of the problem I'm running into. Well, here I am once again, sitting in my backyard. Let's talk about today. First, I finally found the fish. I saw pods of steelhead rolling through. I saw pairs of steelhead rolling through. And then I got low hold. And when I say low hold, I mean they stepped into my Spey line and started casting and playing and just doing family on the river stuff. And I got annoyed and I moved to a fishless area in the water just to be away. It's good to give them space. Rivers for everyone. I should have stayed. Looking back and watching the footage, half of which didn't even make the edit, they weren't even in the lane I was fishing. They were a good ways off on the bank when I was pretty much like halfway through the river, casting, you know, kind of into that 3/4 area. But I should have stayed. I probably would have left with a fish. I know next week what I'll do is I'll go back to the same spot and I'll put my line through the same thing and maybe grab a fish that's moving through. That was the first time I've seen that many fish in that area on the river. I've seen 1s and 2s, I've caught a couple, but I've never seen, I would say 20, 30 fish in an hour, hour and a half. So I learned my lesson. I'll tie up some flies this week and go after them. Yeah, it was a big mistake on my part. Left fish to find fish. Can't be doing that. See you next time.